Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Athleticademix podcast with me, David Fletcher, and Robin House. Welcome. If this is the first time you're hearing one of our episodes, we did our first last week, episode 1, which was more so of an introduction to Robin and myself, and also Athleticademix as a company in general, and really about who we are and what drives us to do this and work within the college recruitment industry. April the 1st today, so we're into a new month. Obviously, a bit strange times still here with everybody still in lockdown at the moment, or most people. So hopefully these podcasts are giving you something to do or some company along the way. March was still a busy month for us. Robin, how are things over in Sweden for you? Any news that you wanted to share with everyone from March?
Yeah, first of all, hi everyone, and glad to be back on the mic. As you say, April 1st today, I think we're gonna launch this either tomorrow, April 2nd, or April 3rd. We're aiming to do one episode a week to keep you all company and to inform you and teach you guys as well about the college recruitment. But March was a fairly good month for Athleticademix Sweden. A lot of commitments, a lot of players going to really nice places, and hopefully places that they will enjoy and they will develop as athletes, as persons, and get a good adventure out of it. We also have a few new family members, as we call them here at Athleticademix. We have 5 new ones in Sweden. One male who's running long distance track and cross country, and then we have a men's soccer player, and then we have 3 women's track athletes actually. All are short sprinters, so really excited to expand the variety and branch of sports here in Sweden. We've been very focused on women's soccer, but trying to expand, so really happy about that. How about you, David? How's it looking in the UK/Denmark?
Yeah, also really good. Some very busy month, making sure that those going this year are kind of in line with where they should be in the process, and getting them what they need. In terms of new family members as well, and people we're bringing in, it's been a great month in March. We welcomed 4 new people to Athleticademix. We have a middle distance runner from England. A swimmer from England as well has joined us, a women's soccer player in England, and also a Danish women's soccer player as well. So, it's nice to welcome a few new faces, all for 2021, and they join a number of others that are well into their recruitment process already for next year. So going back to sort of last week, thank you for everybody that messaged in with some questions and also some feedback on how you thought the episode was. Was it interesting, and what you wanted to perhaps hear in future? And one thing that we got from a number of people and parents as well was a suggestion that we introduce current clients that are either in the process looking to go to America, or some of our clients that are in the States already into the podcast, so that they can share their experiences and give their kind of opinion on how everything works and how they feel about it. And that's something we definitely have planned to do anyway. But it's great to hear that that's something that people would want to listen to. So in the next sort of few weeks, we will definitely be bringing in athletes as well, and you can hear from them in a variety of different sports and backgrounds, and hopefully we'll give listeners and parents that kind of a bit more of an idea of what this is like. So Robin, do you want to talk a little bit about what today is going to talk about?
Yeah. Before moving on today, I just want to say I did a poll on the Swedish Athleticademix Instagram on asking the clients, the current, the previous clients, and the future clients, if anyone want to join into the podcast. And I think I had 19 yes. So we have plenty to choose from and plenty of topic and subjects to bring in. And I think both of you you and me are aiming to have athletes that are in the US, athletes who are just about to leave now for the fall 2020, but also for the kids who just signed with us to hear their thoughts, because all these different phases, you go through different types of thoughts, types of expectations. It could be interesting for all of you guys to hear the thoughts of the athletes in the different processes. And yeah, today we're gonna speak about how you as an athlete can gain an edge in college recruitment, because college recruitment is worldwide. It's something that is going into more and more countries are exploring this option, and that means that you as an athlete has more and more competition to work against. And mostly you'll be judged as a student and an athlete, but there's also a lot of different elements into that, which is how you behave, how you interact with the coach, small things that could give you an edge of getting that scholarship that you dream of. So we're going to speak about that today, what you can do in order to affect your own process. What are the 3 bullet points that we've narrowed them down to, David?
Okay, so first one we're going to talk about is in terms of organization and communication. Okay, so being organized and communicating well, it goes for, as Robin was saying, with regards to when you speaking to coaches, when you begin speaking rather to coaches, you need to be someone that's prompt in reply, very professional in how you write emails back and addressing them in the right manner. We give all of our clients advice and guidance on how to do that. It is very common sense anyway. It's you speak to people all the time, and you know how to be polite and respectful and give enough detail in your replies. But there's certain ways to go about it to remain on their radar and get ahead of potential competitors that are looking for the same scholarship options as you are around the world. But that also goes for, in terms of the communication and organization towards us. We're working with you on daily and weekly basis, all the time, checking in, giving instructions or getting feedback from you. And the more that you can be responsive and quick in that response and get things done, then we can help move you along the process far easier and a lot more smoothly. Once that sort of slows down or breaks down a little bit, it just makes that process that bit harder, and you're putting yourself at a slightly, a bit more of a disadvantage there. So it's a simple thing in terms of organization and being good with communication on all fronts, really. What's your experience of that, Robin?
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of things that differ you from other athletes. If you get an email from a coach, don't wait to respond to it. You might have a lot to do in school, but make sure to respond to the coach. If you get an email late at night, respond in the morning saying, "Hey, coach, I have a lot to do in school this week, so I might not be able to give you a long answer until Sunday. But I just want to say that I've read your message. I appreciate it, and I'll be back very soon." No matter how much you have to do in school, no matter what you're doing in life, you always have time to write that short of a message. So make sure to be responsive, be respectful, and also when you're on the call with the coach, make sure that you've done your homework. Read through the email of the coach. If the email of the coach is showing a really nice gym, for example, make sure to bring that up in the call to say, "Hey, coach, I really like the gym you showed. I like this and this about it," to make sure that the coach notices that you read your email, you've done your homework, prepare with some questions to make sure that you're interested. Because after all, you are competing with athletes all over the world, and if the coach is talking to 3 different athletes or 3 different people, it's up to you to stand out, because they've already checked the athleticism, they've already checked all that, and then they're gonna get to know all 3 of you. So make sure that you stand out and in a positive manner. So that's my advice for all of you.
Yeah, and a big reason for coaches recruiting athletes in Europe is the maturity level that they can bring. At the age of 18, 19, most European students have had, it's a bit of a general statement, but they've had slightly more life experience or perhaps independence than your average American 18-year-old coming out of an American high school. So that's one big thing that they look for in bringing in a European athlete in any sport, is that you can add that to the team. So show that and maximize that kind of opportunity to demonstrate your maturity, and that you're willing, you can take the lead. It's not going to be that mom or dad is going to message for you or reply to the coach for you. It's you. You'll always have your family support, but you're going to have to lead that.
Yeah.
So the little things like when you've had a call with a coach, following up with them, that either that day or perhaps the following day, just saying thanks again for such a great call, coach, whatever the name is. Really enjoyed it. And maybe if you had a couple of quick questions you didn't ask on the call, it's fine to do it then. Just to show that you're actively thinking about that. It impresses coaches. It's almost like a sort of unofficial interview. And you're doing everything you can to stand out, as Robin said.
And also, not to forget about, is that this also goes into you when you're done with college and you're going to search and apply for jobs and going to be at job interviews. Make sure that you don't adapt to the coach or the school or the job that you're applying to. You are the one you are, and what we're trying to find here is the best fit for you, the best fit for the school. So don't try to read their email and think, okay, I should be like this now, I should be like this now, this coach wants this coach wants that, and then you're going to be different persons in all the different calls. Be you. Make sure that does this school has what I want as well. So the reason why we want you to prepare questions is for your own sake. You should interview the coach and the school in a respectful manner as well, to see, is this something that I would like as well? So just don't be the person who sits quiet and answer the answers that you think the coach wants to hear, because this is your journey, and we're going to make sure that this is a place for you as well, as much that you're going to be a player or an athlete for the coach. So it's a mutual respect as well. So don't forget that you decide on where you go, and you need to interview the schools as well to make sure that they do the stuff that you would like to be a part of. So that's quite easy to forget about.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one bit of advice there in terms of responsiveness and communication throughout the process. So what's next on your mind, Robin? What do we want to talk about next, as given a key guidelines on how to gain an edge in college recruitment?
Yeah, so this goes in a bit of what we just spoke about, but social media today is very, very big, and it's something that schools more and more often actually recruit through. So it's not too uncommon to get a private message on Instagram from a women's soccer account at a college in the US. So the second topic or subject that we want to speak about is that you can show interest and you can show engagement through social media. That also can give you an edge. How's an example of how you can show engagement and interest through social media, Fletch?
It's really simple in that when you do begin speaking with a college, or if you have any initial kind of contact, or even if it's just a college you've done a bit of research and you like the look of yourself, follow them, follow their sport-specific Instagram account. So as many of you will know, college sports in America is enormous. So some of their universities, obviously they'll have their university Instagram page. They'll also have their general kind of athletics page, which covers all sports within the school. But then even, further down from that, there'll be sport specific. So there may be a women's soccer page at University of Michigan, for example, whatever it may be. But Michigan will also have a men's soccer page, men's track and field, women's track and field, swimming, golf, etc. So be specific, like numerous accounts, but show that you like that and you're following it along, and you can like and comment and that kind of thing. The Instagram accounts are usually run by assistant coaches on the team or managers within the team. So that's something that shows interest, definitely.
Yeah. And also, many of the coaches that recruit internationally, college is a new thing for many internationals. It's definitely not a typical thing that you do throughout the whole world. It's a typical thing you do in the US, of course, because you do further education. But when they recruit an American, they don't need to convince them on to do college and to join a college. They've already decided to do that. So in order to show them that you're already in this process with Athleticademix because you've decided for college, you're not even considering not going. What you're in here is that you're looking for where am I going, not if you're going to college. When they recruit internationally, many of the times the clients they speak to or the athletes that they speak to, they need to first and foremost convince them about, do you want to go to college? Here's the college world. Here's how it works. And if then the athlete decides that, yeah, college might be my thing, then they need to convince them that, oh, you should join Iowa State, for example. So that's why we always advise our clients to put in their bio future US college athlete with athleticademix.se or .uk, because we want the coach to show the coach that, hey, we've already decided to join college. We're all in this, and I'm set and looking for a college. And also when a school is interested in you, they want to find you on Instagram, for example. And if you have that in your bio, it's easy to find you. If it's easy to find you, it's easy to communicate with you. So make sure that you're accessible, and also that the things that you comment, the things that you post, and all your behavior on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media there is, they will find it and they will see it. So make sure that you behave in a respectful manner as well. So the third bullet point that we have is to take care of your academics, because if you are a good student, you can gain a huge edge towards other students if you are the better one of them. Would you mind going into detail, David, on how you can gain an edge with taking care of your academics?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very simple throughout the process, and even when you get to the States, your academics are equally as important to your sporting ability, if not superior. Very straightforward. Basically, the better test scores that you score in the SAT or ACT, and for non-English speakers, the TOEFL, and the better GPA, which is your grade point average, your average grades throughout high school, the stronger those can be, the more options there will be available in terms of universities that you can get accepted to. So there's just more opportunities out there for you. It's very, very simple in that respect. But then also when you compare yourself to the hundreds of other athletes that a college might be looking at any one time, if you have stronger grades and stronger test scores compared to someone that's vying for the same position as you, there's every chance that the college is going to choose you as the better option, because academic scholarship might be higher for you, meaning that the sport coach as such doesn't have to spend quite as much of the sports scholarship side of things on their budget to get you into the school. So you become a more valuable commodity because your grades are stronger and you've taken care to enhance your academics. It's very, very important to maintain that throughout and never let that drop.
Yeah, so just make sure that you do everything that you possibly can in order to make your profile as attractive as possible. You are already the athlete that you are. You have an ability already. So what can you do in order to maximize that potential that you have? And that are the 3 bullet points that we've gone through today are, be responsive and be communicative with the coach whenever you are in touch with the coach. Make sure that you behave respectfully and that you are on point with the things that they ask you to do. And number 2 is to show engagement through social media. Show that you are a prospective student athlete. Go in and like the schools that you speak to. Comment if they have a win. If you're a football player, for example, comment with an emoji of clapping hands, whatever. That just shows that you're engaged into this. And then number 3, take care of your academics, because if you do take care of your academics, you could get awarded with academic scholarships. And with an academic scholarship, the coach do not need to spend as much money on you from his sporting or her sporting budget, which is really, really good for a coach. So you could be equally as good as your opponent, but if you do get an academic scholarship and the opponent don't, you'll be the one that the coaches decide for. So those are the 3 bullet points that we have today here, the things that you can do to gain an edge in college recruitment.
Okay, so there was 3 kind of simple guidelines on how to give yourself a bit of an edge during the college recruitment process. Pretty common sense stuff, but hopefully something that gives you a little bit of focus to concentrate on and maximizing your potential as a student athlete in America. We're going to move on now and just talk about some questions that we had in some more sort of fun, light-hearted questions we got from listeners last week. One we got a couple of times actually, what we quite liked, and we're going to concentrate on today is about our food preferences in the States and what we missed most. So, Robin, why don't you kick off by saying what was your kind of favorite fast food restaurant or guilty pleasure in the US whilst you were out there?
Yeah, so for the ones who know me, that's a really easy one. It's a restaurant called Chipotle, and just from for the ones who doesn't know what it is, it's basically a Subway but for Mexican food. So you get a burrito, an empty burrito. You walk through the disc and you tell them what you want in it. I know my order in my dream. I can sleep and you can wake me up and tell me what's the order on Chipotle, and I'll name it for you straight away. It's the best thing I know. It's really good food. I've actually dreamt about it a few times here in Sweden as well. And a fun story is that I was in Charlotte just a year ago, and all my friends know I'm addicted to Chipotle, and I was quite sick of being addicted. So I told them that I'm gonna have Chipotle for all 11 days while I'm here in the US to make sure that I get sick of it. But it just made it worse. Now I'm even more addicted. So Chipotle is my go-to. Which one is your favorite?
Yeah, Chipotle would be very high on the list as well. Having spent quite a bit of time, or 2 years in New York, I'd have to say the New York slice, or they often get in the New York, is a coconut slice, they say. So that was obviously a real go-to when you're walking about town. Grimaldi's Pizzeria in Brooklyn was always one to visit, just over the Brooklyn Bridge. That was something special, a nice little treat. So yeah, definitely New York pizza. It would be high on my list there. They do it right over there, and Chipotle was a great place too. It's actually we're lucky in England here, or in London at least, we have about 4 or 5 Chipotle chains in and around, west, north, and I think south and east London as well. So if you're ever in the capital, search up Chipotle and give it a try, definitely.
Yeah, it's always a bullet point when I visit you in London to go to Chipotle at least once.
So what food did you miss most from home, Robin?
Well, I think everyone who knows Swedish food and IKEA would say meatballs, but that's not maybe the biggest thing that I missed. I am a huge addict of lingonberry jam, which is something in Sweden we use quite a lot. So every semester in Chicago, I asked kindly to one of my American friends who had a car if they could drive me to IKEA, which was like a 30-minute drive. Always someone who was nice enough to do it if I bought them Swedish chocolate, which I did with joy. And I bought maybe 12 to 15 lingonberry jams every semester. And the only bad thing was that when I have access to that much lingonberry jam, there's not much discipline in me to save it for the whole semester. So it was always the same thing. After a month, it was all gone. I have lingonberry to a lot. I have it to meatballs. I have it to chicken. I can even have it to fries even. But that's a dark secret that no one really knows. But yeah, I'd say lingonberry jam was the thing that I missed the most. How about you? What's a typical British thing that you missed?
It probably overall would be the chocolate. I think chocolate in the UK for me is 100 times better than what they have in the States. So for me, the Hershey bars and all that kind of stuff was just disgusting compared to good old Galaxy and Cadbury's and things like that we have in the UK. So definitely it was nice every now and again when my family would kindly send me over a little package of sweets in the airmail, or when I went home at Christmas or summertime, you kind of load up on that stuff and get your fix, and then take a load of it back in a suitcase.
So speaking of chocolate, my freshman year of college, one of my best friend, he asked my mom, oh, it's Robin's birthday, what can I give him for a gift? And she said, he said he hates the chocolate in the US, so you can send him a few chocolate bars. And he sent me 20 kilos of Swedish chocolate. I gave it to all my American friends to have them taste it, and I had them in a mini fridge in my dorm. And 2 days after, someone went in and stole 10 of them, 10 of the 20. So yeah, they have never tasted really good chocolate in the US. So it was a very expensive gift, and it was really, really valuable at the dorm in North Carolina Wesleyan College.
So I hope you've enjoyed the second episode of the Athleticademix podcast. I hope it was informative for everybody listening, and also gave you something to do in these difficult times. As we said earlier, we're definitely aiming to have some clients on the phone with us as well to talk about their experience, either in the States or in the lead up to going in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Please do subscribe and follow along and share it with friends that you think might be interested to hear more, parents as well. And get in touch with us, as we said last week, through Instagram, private messages, or Facebook, and ask us some questions or give us some ideas on what you would like to hear get talked about. So that's it from us this week, and we look forward to speaking again next week. Stay safe.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe.